Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Nidecker Smoke. This board features Nidecker's Surfy Cam Rocker, which is rocker in the nose then camber throughout the rest of the board. This is going to give you all the load, pop, snap, and drive of this snowboard, while you got that rocker in the nose, which is going to give you ease of entry in and out of turns as well as more optimal powder float. This board's available in 154, 158, and 162. I rode this board at Copper Mountain on a mostly bluebird day. There was like little pockets of gray. There was warmer temps, some wind, chop chunder, slush, perfect hero snow, and I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. This board is fairly stiff, but it's a uniform, consistent flex, which is nice. You have one key flex point right where that rocker in the nose meets the camber section throughout the rest of the board, but other than that, it's just uniform. The torsional flex is very, very, very minimal. It is rigid. Now, the nice thing about this board is that it's smooth. I don't mean that it's damp, it's just smooth. You get a little bit of chatter and you can kind of feel that underfoot, but for the most part, it just cuts through everything in its path with ease and just keeps on going. It does a great job of dissipating kinetic energy as well as those more jarring hits. This board is meant to stay on the ground. Even when you load it up, roll back on the tail and try to get it to engage, it doesn't really pop. I mean, you can pop with it, it just doesn't really pop. This board wants to stay on the ground and just cruise. Yeah, you're not buttering this thing. I didn't butter this thing. Nobody's buttering this thing. Don't even waste your time. Go make some nice solid turns instead. When it comes to carving, this is where this board stands out to an extent. You do need space to really lay it over and get the most out of it, but when you give it that space and give it the speed that you want, it stands out. Now, it's an aggressive carving board. If you think those short, tight, quick carves are gonna be fairly easy, they're not. There's a little bit of fight in there. I'm not saying you can't do them. There's just a little bit of fight. It lacks that torsional flex to really be nuanced with that ankle steering. But when you get up to speed and you lay this board over, you notice how it grips and that all the power comes from the center back through the tail. You need to disengage the front foot and drive this off the rear. And when you do, you're laying trenches. Now, when you go to really aggressively lay it over, like you're gonna drag your nipples on the ground, it takes a lot of effort. You're gonna notice how much power and force you're putting into it, and it will give you what you want. So if you're an assertive carving person, this is not a bad option, but if you're laid back, you skid your turns, you're probably not going to like it. So who's this board for? Someone that just wants to have no regard for theirs or anyone's safety, doesn't care about speed, and wants to ride a missile. This board is a tank, and not in the sense that it's planky, just that it crushes everything in its path and wants to cruise at top speed. You can swoop in and out of carves with this thing. You put a lot of effort in to steer it, but it's worth it for what you get out of it. It's not going to be for everyone, but for the person that rides this that wants something that they can drive hard and aggressive, it's not going to be a problem. Comparable boards: the Ride Commissioner, the Korua Cafe Racer Plus, the Amplid UNW8. Binding recommendations: the Nidecker K-On CX, the Ride A10, the Now Drive CX. This has been my review of the Nidecker Smoke. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you gonna buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you wanna support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.